We've got 8 games on Friday. Let's preview them. Let's look at streaming options for the short term, the near term, the intermediate term, whatever it is. Michael Bolton, let's do it.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I've been spending all day refining and practicing my ramp shot. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky, joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are coming, but the regular season is still there, and you can take advantage of it by getting $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Go to FanDuel.com to get started. Also, check out LockedOnDaily.com and find the best individual team newsletter for your favorite NBA team. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Save your thumbs. I don't want them. Save your comments. Don't want to hear from you. Actually, keep it silent. Keep it zipped up. No comments, no thumbs, no bangs, no subscribes. All right. What are we talking about? Well, it is here. I'm doing this for Friday, December the 27th, which, for those who celebrate, it is National Fruitcake Day. So enjoy your fruitcake if you are participating in the day. Let's talk about what's on my radar for these 8 NBA games on Friday. A lot of them involving Thursday, Friday back-to-backs. A lot of them the first half of a Friday, Saturday back-to-back, which, of course, influences the way that we approach looking at these games. The first game up is the New York Knickerbockers up against our Orlando Magic. Knicks are 6.5-point favorites here on the road. The Magic are on a back-to-back. They're playing on Thursday. The Knicks play Friday, Saturday, so it's the first of a back-to-back for them. And then they have a 4-game week in Week 11. The Magic play Friday, Sunday, and then they play just 3 games. So they've got a break to begin next week with no Monday, Tuesday game. They play Monday, Friday, Sunday. Mitchie Robinson's going to be out. Paolo Banchero's out. Franz Wagner is out. Gary Harris, I said they're questionable, closer to doubtful, but I'll change that because he's been ruled out of Thursday's game, Gaza. So I would say he's closer to just a true questionable for Friday. There was no way that he was going to play in both the Thursday and Friday games. I thought there was a chance for him on Thursday, but no, there's not. He is out. So I would say there is a likelihood that he plays in Friday's game. What are we watching for on the Knicks? Well, there's not a lot. They're pretty boring fantasy-wise, but it's more to me about, can Jalen Brunson, let's get some shots going, take more of them, hit more of them. I want to see how aggressively I need to change projections for him. Stream-wise, it is probably Juice McBride on the Knicks side. You could look at Precious Achiuwa there as well, but I'm not going to feel super confident about either guy. And then on the Orlando, that's where we get a lot of stream options. Wendell Carter Jr. is available in a lot of spots. He, to me, is the priority. But you could look at Tristan Da Silva. You could look at Yas Queen. You could look at Trevelyan in there as well. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, if he is available. A lot of different options there, which I think is Mr. Black, Cole Anthony. Lots of different guys that I think is just going to rotate through all the time in terms of which one is the guy each day. And knowing what that is almost impossible. But usually just trying to head towards where do I feel the minutes are going to be more secure. And I think with Wendell, we're secure in the minutes. And then you go to Silver and Queen probably after that as the 2 next guys you feel a little bit more secure with. The San Antonio Spurs, the Brooklyn Nets, that is the next game up. The Spurs are 6-point favorites here on the road. This is a back-to-back also for Brooklyn. The Spurs play Friday, Sunday. The Nets, or then the next week they have 3 games, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. The Nets are Friday, Sunday as well, into Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So a bit of a weird schedule there for Brooklyn. Bojan Bogdanovic is going to be out. Trent Watford's going to be out. I don't know exactly about Cam Thomas and Zaire Williams. I know they're out on Thursday. I haven't heard anything to suggest that they will play on Friday, but they could. I just think it's extremely unlikely. So I'll rule them out for Friday, but who knows. And then Ben Simmons, well, he's not going to play in both of the games. At the moment, Simmons is still questionable for Thursday. So I'll say that we'll say he plays Thursday, sits Friday, but we don't know. He's not going to play both of them. Dorian Finney-Smith, it looks like he will play on Thursday. I didn't think that he would play both of these games coming off this ankle problem. So if he's leaning towards playing Thursday, I would lean towards him not playing on Friday. But he could just play both. He could. I don't know, but we'll see. In terms of the Spurs, what am I watching for? Well, Devin Vassell's last couple of games have been pretty disappointing. I want to see where the minutes lie, and I'm very encouraged by those. They're very good. But usage and efficiency is down. So let's see how he looks. It is more important to me what the offensive hierarchy is. Can he just get like 2 to 3 more shots? Or are they going to keep him in this lower volume role, which has happened the last 2 games? That is something to watch. In terms of stream guys, Julian Champagny is that guy. So he's going to play more than Keldon Johnson. He's going to play more than Western Conference Player of the Week, Harrison Barnes. Sorry, the pencil, Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. So he is the stream guy. And then on Brooklyn, there are a couple of different guys because we don't really know how this is going to play out. Like Noah Clowney, if Dorian Finney-Smith is out, I would love to stream him in. If Ben Simmons is out, Shake Milton, Keon Johnson, those guys get big boosts. But what if Thomas comes back? What if Zaire comes back? It's a very messy situation in Brooklyn. I think it will clear up at some point, but at the moment, it's incredibly messy in terms of trying to figure out where value lies. The third game of the day, we've got the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics. This is a back-to-back for Indiana. They also play Friday, Sunday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, while Boston is a Friday, Sunday team into Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So a back-to-back coming up for Boston next week. I don't expect Aaron Nesmith to be available. He is out for Thursday. I don't think he plays Friday, but his return is imminent. Miles Turner is still listed questionable for Thursday with an oblique issue, so we'll just chuck a questionable tag on him for Friday as well. While Drew Holiday is officially questionable for Friday, they have updated that, but I haven't seen Porzingis. There you go. Porzingis is officially questionable as well. So we thought they'd both be questionable. That's what the asterisk means. That's me predicting. And Holiday and Porzingis are both questionable for Friday officially. On the Celtics side of things, Pritchard is someone that I want to watch because he has disappointed lately. He was never going to be a consistent and persistent top 50 player. I didn't think he was shooting well above his head. The minutes still remain encouraging. He's just in a slump. So we just keep watching where he goes. But I do think that the reality of Pritchard is not what we saw the first 8 weeks or so. There was just a lot of incredibly hot shooting that is probably going to settle in a lower area. In terms of streams, Andy Nembhard, you're going to see his name appearing a lot. He's almost moving into the Lou Dort, Dylan Brooks, Jaden McDaniels territory of players where they're like 30% rostered. You don't feel great about just always holding them, but they're always going to appear as like, oh, that's a nice option to stream in. And I've explained the difference between, because again, it is very easy to say, well, if you're just going to stream them every day, why wouldn't you hold them, right? And I understand that seems logical on the surface, but my point of that is if someone like Nembhard in this situation that's true. Like if he's available, you use him on those days. And when there's an overload period of schedule for the Pacers, yeah, that's interesting as well. But you would much rather use that spot to get 5.5 games out of a roster spot versus a 3.7 roster spot as if you hold one individual player. He's not good enough to justify that, but he's also always going to be at the top of your stream lists. So I hope that does make sense. And then Al Horford. Yeah, if Holiday and Porzingis play, he's not going to be very good. But there's a chance that both of them sit, or one of them sits. And even so, like he is the best option on the Celtics to be a stream guy, even though it can be annoying at times. The Grizzlies and the Pelicans, both of these teams play Thursday. So they're both playing Friday. It's a back-to-back for both of them. Memphis also plays Sunday after Friday. And then next week, they're Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. This is the final Pelicans game of the week. Of course, they haven't played yet. And they've got a weird Thursday, Friday back-to-back. And then it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for them. There's a million players on this injury report. G.G. Jackson, Vince Williams are going to be out. Marcus Smart and Jay Huff are out on Thursday. I don't think they play Friday, but I don't know. So I'm going to preemptively label them doubtful. Jose Alvarado, it looks like his return is coming soon. He's not a 10, 12, or 14 team league player, but his return is looking like it's coming soon. Zion is out. Brandon Ingram is out. Cullen Makovich is going to be out. Javonte Green is questionable for the game on Thursday, so I'll put him questionable here. Now, Trey Murphy said he is playing on Thursday. I'll put it there just so I remember to tell you about it. I think if he plays Thursday, I think he's fine for Friday, but that ankle could swell up. It could become a problem, and maybe he sits Friday. But I don't think they'll preemptively sit him if he plays Thursday. If he plays Thursday, I think he's a very good chance of playing Friday. That's why I've just labeled him as in. In terms of stream guys, under the assumption that Marcus Smart is out, then Lawrence of LaRavia is the guy that we look at. Jake has been very good all season, and when he plays 25 minutes, which he very well could do with Vince and Gigi and Smart all out, I'm okay with using him. On the Pelican side of things, Jordan Hawkins is the stream guy, but the value of him as being a rock-solid-ish, and he's never going to be a rock-solid 12-team league guy, but the value of that really would depend on Trey being out, and I don't think that's going to be the case. So Hawkins will get his shots up. Sometimes they'll go in, sometimes they won't, and you're not going to get elite value, but he is very clearly the best of that bunch, I think, there for New Orleans. We've got 4 more games that we're going to preview and give you stream options for, plus more schedule-based stuff later on in the show. But today's episode is brought to you by Robinhood, specifically Robinhood Gold. Put away that silver spoon. I don't care where you got it. Just put it away because you don't need it. You can eat up all the financial favors of the 1% with Robinhood Gold. Robinhood Gold allows you to get those rates, those perks that usually get reserved for high society. Now, if you have Robinhood Gold, which you can get for $5 a month, of course, you can get the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold gives you the privileges that someone with high net worth would get, but you don't even need that high net worth. Whatever net worth you have, Robinhood Gold can be yours for $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply for product-specific disclosures. Visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Okay. Let's get into the next game. That's the first 4 that are done. We'll talk about the next one, which of course is, if I can find it, it is the Wolves and the Rockets. Houston comes into this one on a back-to-back. They're playing on Thursday. Schedule-wise, both teams are Friday, Sunday, and then Minnesota is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Houston's Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I don't think Joe Ingles is going to play. I also don't think it matters. Luka Garza, I don't think is going to play. It definitely doesn't matter. Dylan Brooks is the interesting one because he's been ruled out Thursday. They had a Sunday, Monday back-to-back. He didn't play Monday. They got a Thursday, Friday back-to-back, and he's not playing Thursday. I would think that Dylan Brooks plays on Friday, but now I'm not as sure. I would think he plays, though. Tari Eason is still questionable for Thursday with the recovery from a leg injury. We know what the leg injury was, the one he had last season. I would be a little skeptical that he plays in both games. So if Tari plays on Thursday, I would say that he probably sits on Friday, but I'm not sure about that. But the fact that he's been upgraded to questionable, if he does sit Thursday, I think Friday is a good shout. And then we're always going to just put Steven Adams on the questionable/doubtful list. He's never going to play a million minutes or games in a row. So who knows whether he's available or not. We want to watch Naz Reid for the Wolves because it's been bad. And it's been particularly bad of late. And when they give Randall and Gobert minutes, Reid just sits around, does nothing. And we saw that on Christmas. Those guys played extra minutes. Reid was useless. And we are moving into the why am I holding this guy territory. Always remember, I am down on Reid compared to consensus. So when I talk about him, that's how I talk about it. But I would say the results back me up so far. And I'm not certain we need to hold. But we can, and we watch what happens here. In terms of stream, guys, there he is, old Dawson himself, Jaden McDaniels, who's always going to be near this list. You know he's got a 30-minute role. It might be 34. It might be 29 due to foul trouble. He might have 6 points on 3 shots. He might have 6 points on 11 shots. He might have 17 points on 4 shots. He might get 4 steals. He might have nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Right? That is what Jaden McDaniels is. He's always streamable, but he's not worth holding. And then I put Cam Whitmore there for the Rockets. Now, Cam Whitmore might play a big, fat 0 minutes. Totally possible. But the Rockets aren't a great stream team. And if Eason and Brooks are out, then Whitmore's going to get shots, he's going to get minutes, and he's going to be streamable. But of course, it could be completely useless. But I put his name there just so you're aware that there is a chance that Cam is interesting. The Cleveland Cavaliers going to take on the Denver Nuggets. It's not that there's no spread for this one, but the Cavs, it's just called a pick 'em. So the Cavs, despite being on the road, which seems like they probably should be favored, but whatever, they're even here. This is the Cavs' final game of the week, and they play 4 next week, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. Whereas Denver has a Friday, Saturday back-to-back, and then they play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday the week after. Isaac Okoro is going to be out for Cleveland. Dean Wade missed the last one with knee issues. I put him as questionable here, and I want him to play because I want to see a little bit of clarity on that wing position. It'd be great if Okoro was there so we could get full clarity, but he's not. So we'll see what Wade does. Vlatko Čančar is going to be out for the Nuggets, and then Aaron Gordon left the last game with calf tightness. We know that tightness this season has been a synonym for strain. I'll put Gordon as questionable. There's no way he plays both these games. I'm so sorry. I can't see that. If you leave a game on Christmas that's tight with an aggravation of a previous injury, there's no way he's playing this back-to-back. There's none. I don't know which game he sits. If I was them, I'm not. If I was them, he'd just sit both of them. But we'll see. We'll see where we're at, meaning that there is maybe something there with Peyton Watson. For the Cavs, I want to see what happens with Max Strus. He played 22 minutes last game, Dean Wade out. So what happens if Dean Wade's back? Does Strus go up again? How high do they push him? Because they're a team where their position at the 3 is weird, because it could be Merrill, it could be Strus, it could be Wade, it could be Okoro, it could be LeVert. There's a million different options there. And what do? Play 23 each? Does one put themselves ahead of the others? Is Strus that guy? I don't know. We want to watch it. And then for the Nuggets, the man who is moving in the opposite direction to Max Strus, it's Christian Braun. He's been terrible. He has not been close to a 12-team league guy over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Is that the reality for him? Maybe. Probably. Honestly. Because he was doing a lot of stuff early in the season where I looked at it and went, I don't think so. What? Why is he averaging 1.5 blocks and 2 steals? And why is he shooting 85 from the line and 63% on 2s? That was all this weird stuff happening. And now it's not. So again, like Naz Reid, I'm down on Brown. Hey, what a phrase. But I'm holding and we'll see where it goes. I don't think it looks good. Karis LeVert is the Cavs stream guy, probably over Strus, but there's just so many options there. And then Peyton Watson, who has a real chance to start here. And if Watson starts, then we do become very much more interested in him in 12-team formats. For the next game, we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks going to take on the Phoenix Suns. Schedule was no spread out yet. I don't know. Is Fangio waiting to find out whether Luka's out? I'll give you a tip. He's out. Dallas playing Friday, Saturday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Phoenix has Friday, Saturday into Tuesday, Saturday. So a 2-game week for Phoenix next week. Luka's going to be out. Dante Exum's going to be out. I'm pretty certain, or maybe that's, sorry, apologies to Fangio. They're waiting to see whether Devin Booker's going to be out. I think he's going to be out. So I'm going to label Devin Booker and Grayson Allen both out for this game, but I don't know that yet. Because it's also a back-to-back for Phoenix, so almost no shot that Booker comes back Friday and plays both of them. He will sit one of those games, and it makes more sense to sit the first one, I think. So we'll see. And then, of course, the big one is Bol, who's missed the last couple. He's questionable here. In terms of what we're watching for on the Mavs, well, it's very easy. It's Quentin Grimes and Spencer Dinwiddie. Interchange the names, interchange the streaming. Who's going to start? Who plays more minutes? Who's the ad? I think both guys are worth looking at, but I think both guys in 12-team leagues are going to be, when you add them, you'll look at them and go, he's actually just my worst player, and we'll end up just streaming that spot through. That's how I think it's going to go. But they're both. I grabbed Dinwiddie in a couple of leagues overnight. I don't think I ended up, any of my claims on Grimes went through, but that's what I tried to do. For the Suns, Monte Morris played really well last game, and we're not looking at him as an ad, but what he did do, despite Tyus Jones playing really well, Jones was sort of capped at 30 minutes to get more Morris out there. Is that what they're going to do? And Royce O'Neal is the stream, I believe, in Phoenix, even though Ryan Dunn started over him. Dunn, despite being one of the best permanent fantasy producers in college, he's actually horrible in the NBA in terms of fantasy production per minute, which is very weird because he came in with this like hyper elite Matisse Thybulle defensive type profile, and that doesn't happen stat-wise. He just doesn't do it. And that means he's actually completely useless from a fantasy perspective so far. So Royce is the guy at the moment that we're looking at. The final game of the day, we're going to LA. It's the Warriors taking on the Clippers. The schedule, well, actually, the Clippers are 1-point favorites here. The Warriors play Friday, Saturday, and then they play Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, whereas the Clippers play on Friday. That's their week over. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. After the Christmas Day game, we heard Steve Kerr say that Steph is probably going to sit one of these games. And if they say they're probably going to sit one of them, he's definitely going to sit one of them. They said about his knee problem that cropped up. They talked about how he played 36 minutes on Christmas. He will not play both of these games. I would think that Steph probably sits this one, but I don't know. There is a risk, I guess, of Draymond also sitting, but also not sure about that. But of course, if Steph sits, we go into Kuminga. We go into streaming Pajemski. We get more value for Dennis Schroeder in that position as well. Gary Payton also left the Christmas Day game and didn't return. No guarantees even in the rotation, to be honest. While I don't think Kawhi's going to play, maybe next week, who knows. Terrence Mann's going to be out and Kobe Brown's going to be out. So for the Warriors, it's John Kuminga that I want to watch because 27 is not enough. I need 30 regular minutes from him. He continues to be a frustrating player to watch and frustrating in fantasy. If Steph is out, he will do more almost assuredly, and that'll give you a nice little bit of value there. And then on the Clippers, it's about the shooting of Norm Powell, the usage of Norm Powell. You could look at this two different ways. Maybe I'm too hyper-aggressive in thinking that Powell is going to fall off when Kawhi returns due to a usage drop and maybe a regression in shooting. But there are others who are also living in a land that's maybe as delusional as mine, where they think, well, Kawhi just won't impact anything about Powell, and actually having Kawhi there makes it easier for Powell, so he'll get better shots and his efficiency will rise up and he'll be able to get more open stuff, which is just not a thing. That I feel very confident saying won't happen. But we're still going to watch where Norman Powell is, who is turning into literally one of the best shooters in the entire NBA, if he's not already there. In terms of stream guys, the Warriors have too many guys who are ahead of my threshold of streaming. So Looney's the name that comes up, but who cares? That's not what we were looking at. We want Schroeder. We want Pajemski. We want Kuminga. We want Hield. You want Jackson Davis, who's probably the guy to add in all spots, honestly. And we'll see how that all goes. And then Chris Dunn, the minutes of pushing up for Dunn recently, he is still just more of a steals with some assists and threes guy, but his value is improving of late, and we're getting more production out of him. We're going to come back and talk schedule stuff. We're going to come back and talk stream stuff. Before we do that, though, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but you can still get some action in on the NFL regular season, and you do that with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You've got so many ways to get that W on FanDuel. You can pick an anytime touchdown scorer. Which is a player going to score a touchdown? Yes, no. There you go. Bang, done. What player props for individual stats? You've got how many points is a team going to score, the game total, the spread, the basic money lines. It's all there. And if you want to get those $250 in bonus bets with FanDuel, it's so easy. As a new customer, you place a $5 bet, you win that first $5 bet, and you get $250 in bonus bets. That's all it is. So go to FanDuel.com to join today. That is FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay, let's get into some schedule type stuff, back-to-backs and streaming and all of those things which are important when we're playing fantasy. The back-to-backs, Friday to Saturday, there are 5 teams who have that back-to-back. Dallas is one of them. Denver, Golden State, the Knicks, and the Suns. So there's numerous things here. I don't think Kyrie is going to sit for Dallas, but Denver, Aaron Gordon, a big risk. Steph, a big risk of sitting for the Warriors. The Knicks, they're fine. And then the Suns, it's about Devin Booker and his availability to play in those games, where I think Beal and Durant have no problem there. So who are guys that we look at in terms of streaming? Well, these are longer-term ones as well. It's Dinwiddie and Grimes. We hopefully get some information. What I fear is that one game we'll get 30 out of Dinwiddie, and then we'll get 25 the next one, and Grimes flip-flops, and we in a spot where we just throw up our hands and go, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be that, but they're both there as back-to-back streams. Royce O'Neal, Juice McBride, Precious Achiuwa, and Najee Marshall all have interest for me as stream guys. Plus, all those Warriors players who are above the threshold that I talked about. Jackson Davis, Kuminga, Schroeder, Hield, Pajemski if Steph is out as well, giving you a little bit of extra value bump there. In terms of chunks, that's Friday through Tuesday. All 5 of those days are streamable, and these are the top 6 guys, 40% or rostered less, who have 3 games over the next 5 days. We've got Dinwiddie and Grimes again, Chris Dunn, Andrew Nembhard, Julian Champagny, that's in San Antonio, and old mate streaming legend Luguentz Dort. If you look at 5s and 2s over the next 7 days, does anyone play 5 games or does anyone play 2? Well, no one plays 5 games, but 2 teams have got 2 games over the next week. That is Charlotte and Detroit. So if you're looking at streaming any of those guys, you're Asar Thompson's or, God forbid, Tim Hardaway, but maybe you're considering Cody Martin in Charlotte. 2 games over the next week, you obviously is dipping a lot of the value there. If you're going, hey, maybe I'll hold on to BDNR Nick Richards. No, don't. 2 games, next 7 days, value down anyway. Don't worry about it. Low volume schedule situation there for those guys. So now let's look at the streams of the day for Friday. So let's look at the stream of the day. For 10-teamers, Mike Conley actually does fall under the cutoff that I use, which is 65% rostered over on Basketball Monster. So he is my 10-team stream of the day there. For Minnesota, your 12-teamer, well, again, like Spencer Dinwiddie / Quentin Grimes. Grimes actually does project slightly better for me given the minutes that we've assigned them at the moment, but I'm still not certain on that. And Dinwiddie does have slightly higher upside, so I'll put him there. 14-teamer, we go with Chris Dunn. And then for 16-team leagues and deeper, I'm going to go with Jake LaRavia. For Yahoo and ESPN points leagues, this guy is available in over 60% of leagues, and it's Royce O'Neal. And this is, again, hinging on the fact that Devin Booker and Grayson Allen won't play, but O'Neal looks to me to be the guy that we want to take a look at there. To just dig into it a little bit more for 10-teamers, again, you're always, whatever league you're in, just start at the top of these lists and go down and see what you can find. Mike Conley, Andrew Nembhard for 10-teamers, Chris Dunn, Quentin Grimes, Al Horford, Julian Champagny as 10-team streamers. For 12s, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, but again, who knows? You could put him right to the top of that list if you wanted. John Isaac, Jake LaRavia, Keon Johnson, Shake Milton, and Noah Clowney. Those 3 names for the Nets are really hinging on whether Dorian Finney-Smith and Ben Simmons play. And at the moment, I've got them both projected out for Friday, and that would boost all 3 of those guys up. Also with Cam Thomas and Zaire Williams out. But of course, that's a lot of variables, man. So just be really cautious about those guys when considering what you're going to do there. For deeper league streams, we're talking about guys that are available in a lot of spots. Kevin Porter Jr., Scottie Pippen Jr., Trevelyan Queen, Jalen Wells, Precious Achiuwa, and Derek Jones for the Clippers. Yahoo points streaming, top 6 guys, all 60% plus available. Royce O'Neal, Quentin Grimes, Kevin Porter, Spencer Dinwiddie, Wendell Carter, and Andrew Nembhard. And then lastly on ESPN Points League streaming, O'Neal, Grimes, Nembhard, Carter, Dinwiddie, and Shake Your Booty, Shake Milton. And that, on National Fruitcake Day, is the end of the show. You guys know what to do, I think. If you don't, well, here we go. Let's have a good day. Hope you set your lineups correctly for fantasy. Hope you made something nice for dinner. Hope you ate something nice. Hope you said thanks to yourself. Hope you sat there and went, yeah, that's going okay. Because, we hear negatives everywhere you go. Social media is full of it. Real life's full of it. Be the change in yourself. Then that's really, do that. Focus inside. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.